The throne room of the Zarketh Empire stretched before Captain Marcus Webb like the belly of some enormous beast. Bioluminescent veins pulsed through obsidian walls, casting shadows that seemed to writhe with malevolent intent. At the far end, atop a pyramid of what looked disturbingly like bones, sat Queen Vexthra, the Devourer. She was impressive, Marcus had to admit. 4 meters tall, covered in chitinous plates that gleamed like oil on water, with 6 arms ending in claws that could probably slice through a battle tank. Her mandibles clicked in what the translator rendered as anticipation. Human. Her voice boomed through the chamber, enhanced by resonance chambers in her thorax. "You dare enter my domain? I'm Queen Vexthra, conqueror of the 12 nebulas, eater of worlds, the shadow that consumes hope itself." Marcus adjusted his collar and suppressed a yawn. It was 400 ship time, and he'd been up for 36 hours negotiating trade routes before his shuttle was intercepted and dragged here. "I have personally dismembered 17 species into extinction," the Queen continued, rising from her throne. The room trembled. "I have bathed in the blood of suns, watched civilizations crumble at my approach. Entire star systems whisper my name in terror." She descended the throne steps, each footfall echoing like thunder. Her guards, massive warriors in spiked armor, raised their plasma lances, energy crackling with barely contained violence. And now, Vexithra loomed over Marcus, her shadow engulfing him entirely. "You stand before me, helpless and alone." "Fear me, human!" "Tremble before," Marcus started laughing, not a nervous chuckle, not a breakdown-induced giggle. A genuine, full-bodied laugh that echoed through the throne room, startling even the guards. "I'm sorry," Marcus wheezed, wiping his eyes. "I'm so sorry, but after my ex-wife? You're adorable." The throne room fell silent. You could have heard a pin drop in the vacuum of space. "What?" Vexthra's mandibles hung open in confusion. "No, really." Marcus composed himself, though a grin still played at his lips. "That whole routine? The voice modulation, the dramatic pauses, the bone throne, which is a nice touch, by the way. It's very intimidating. Solid 8 out of 10. But I've been through a divorce with Linda. I've consumed worlds," Vexthra said, her voice uncertain for the first time in 3 centuries. "Linda consumed my savings, my sanity, and my vintage comic book collection that I'd been building since I was 8. Marcus shook his head. "She got the house I renovated with my own hands. The dog, who she didn't even like, and somehow, she got the court to agree I owed her money." One of the guards shifted uncomfortably. "You speak of domestic dissolution?" Vexthra asked. "I speak of a woman who could make me feel like I was worthless with just a look across the dinner table, who could turn any conversation into a minefield where every word was wrong, who somehow made me apologize for things I didn't do, couldn't have done, and in some cases, things that defied the laws of physics." Marcus walked casually past the Queen, examining the throne room's architecture. The guards looked to Vexthra, unsure whether to vaporize the impudent human. "See, the thing about fear," Marcus continued, "is that real terror doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need dramatic lighting or a booming voice. It's quiet. It's Linda saying we need to talk, in that calm voice. It's finding out she's been documenting every mistake you've made for 3 years. It's realizing the person you trusted most in the universe has been building a legal case against you while you were planning anniversary dinners." "But I have ended billions of lives," Vexthra protested weakly, "and Linda ended me without killing me at all. Which, if you think about it, is way more impressive." Marcus turned to face the Queen. "You know what the worst part was? I still had to see her every week for 2 years because we had a joint investment in a friend's business. 2 years of polite small talk with someone who knew exactly how to twist the knife." Vexthra sat down slowly on the steps of her throne. "This Linda, she sounds formidable. She weaponized my own mother against me." "My own mother." Marcus's eye twitched slightly at the memory. "By the end, Mom was asking why I couldn't be more understanding of Linda's needs." "By the void," one of the guards whispered. "So you'll have to forgive me. Your terrifying majesty, but when you threaten to tear me limb from limb. At least that would be quick, honest, almost refreshing in its straightforward brutality. Marcus sat down on the steps next to the Queen. You're like a summer storm, loud, dramatic, violent. Linda was climate change, slow, insidious, and by the time you realized how bad it was, you'd already lost everything. Vexithra was quiet for a long moment. Human Marcus, why are you not afraid? Oh, I'm always afraid, Marcus said softly. That's what Linda taught me. But you learn to function through fear. You learn that the worst thing that can happen isn't death. It's loving someone who uses that love as a weapon. After that, he looked up at the alien Queen. Everything else is just Wednesday. Another long silence filled the chamber. I was matched with a partner once, Vexthra said quietly, her voice losing its enhancement. Before I became Queen, the council said we were genetically compatible. Let me guess, she took my ship in the separation proceedings. The ship I had captured in glorious battle. She said she needed it more because I had career prospects. Marcus whistled low. That's cold. I had captured it from the dread fleet of Morthos. Vexthra's voice boomed again, startling them both before dropping back to normal. Sorry, sore subject. Say no more. They sat in companionable silence for a moment. So, Vexthra said eventually, you were not actually brought here as a prisoner to be terrorized. There was a clerical error. You are Captain Webb, the trade negotiator, yes? That's me. My aide mentioned you were coming. Then my military intercepted your shuttle. Assumed you were an invader because we're technically still at war with Earth Sector 7. Dragged you here, and I saw human prisoner on my schedule and thought. She gestured vaguely with 4 of her 6 hands. It has been a slow quarter. Few good conquests. I'm actually here to discuss ending that war, ironically enough. Oh. Vexthra looked embarrassed. If a being with mandibles could look embarrassed. This is awkward. Little bit. Would you like some refreshment? We have excellent fermented nebula extract. Very calming after discussions of domestic dissolution. You know what? Yes, I would. As guards scrambled to bring drinks, Marcus and the Queen of the Zarketh Empire sat on the steps of her bone throne. 2 beings from different worlds, united by the universal experience of devastating divorces. So she took the dog. Vexthra asked. She took the dog, but she didn't even like the dog. That's what I said. The cruelty. Vexthra shook her massive head, and the court agreed. Said it would be disruptive to the dog to change homes. By the consuming void that is worse than the time I destroyed the Praetorian system. Thank you. Finally, someone gets it. As it turned out, the peace negotiations were the smoothest in Earth diplomatic history. Marcus and Vexthra discovered they had much in common. A love of classical music, a hatred of bureaucratic inefficiency, and the shared trauma of catastrophic relationship endings. The treaty was signed within 3 hours, which included a break for lunch and a lengthy discussion about property division laws across various legal systems. When Marcus finally returned to Earth, his mission was hailed as a legendary success. When asked how he'd managed to negotiate peace with the most feared being in 12 sectors, he simply smiled and said, I just treated her like a person. Turns out we all have more in common than we think. But late at night, Marcus would sometimes get a communication from a seemingly untraceable source. The messages were always brief. Still can't believe she took the dog. V, I know, right? Man, somewhere in the depths of space, on a throne of bones that was beginning to seem a bit much even to her, Queen Vexthra the Devourer would sip her fermented nebula extract and think that perhaps being feared wasn't as satisfying as being understood, though she was definitely keeping the bone throne. It had taken ages to collect enough bones, and besides, it was excellent for her posture. Some things, even post-divorce wisdom, couldn't make you give up. 3 months later, Linda would accidentally match with Vexthra on an interspecies dating app. The Queen took one look at the profile, read the bio, and immediately blocked the account while muttering, Marcus was right. Absolutely terrifying. Linda, for her part, would later complain to her friends that even alien queens were intimidated by strong women these days. The friends said nothing, but several made plans to get drinks with Marcus and compare notes.